starting lineup for your Liners. Batting leadoff and playing catcher, number 18, Lily Huseman. Batting second and playing left field, number 6, Evan Neal. Batting third and starting in the circle, number 34, Pilar Cox. Batting fourth and playing center field, number 12, Jewel Carlton. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 9, Danny Orpin. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 22, Samaya Wood. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 15, Lola Guy. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 1, Eliana Pearson. Designated player, number 4, Reagan Harold. And in the flex position, playing second base, number 11, Samantha Williams. Head coach of the Lions, Ashton Jurgen. And for our home team in this contest, the number 1 seed, Dexter Cedarvale Spartans. Superintendent and Principal, KB Chris. Superintendent, Lance Robb. Athletic Director, Lance Jeffers and Gloria McCall. Assistant Coach, Brian Richardson. Taylor Pingree. Sammy Webb. And team managers, Coleman Webb. Emery Jacobs. Atlee Rainbow. And Tyler Pingree. Players, number 3, Sawyer Herod. Number 17, Abigail Waldschmidt. Number 15, Emery Everett. Number 14, Kennedy Holcomb. Number 16, Maddie Martins. Number 11, Reagan Avery. And number 8, Ashton Pilliam. And for the starters, batting leadoff and playing shortstop, number 10, Gracie Webb. Batting second and playing center field, number 2, Edie Bowman. Batting third and starting in the circle, number 4, Zoe Davidson. Playing in left field, number 22, Bailey Hedgecock. Designated player, number 26, Kendall Graham. Batting sixth, playing catcher, number 7, Maddie Lampson. Batting seventh and playing third, number 5, Kylie Bragg. Batting eighth and playing right field, number 1, Jessen Vogel. Batting ninth and playing second, number 13, Isley Bowman. And in the flex spot, playing first, number 25, Kylie Hedgecock. Head coach of the Spartans, KB Chris. Umpires for this contest, behind the plate, Phil Nusser. Over at third base, Don McDaniel. And over at first base, Cameron Chandler. Play ball.
Welcome to Championship Softball, brought to you by Eastus Media. 8 teams, 8 seasons, still hopeful to take home the state title. These 8 teams have traveled to Pratt, Kansas, and over the next 2 days here at Pinkall Field at the beautiful Green Sports Complex, one will be named your 2025 state champion. We've got 2 full days of coverage coming your way. 8 teams, 2 days, 1 champion here on Eastus Media.
Welcome to the third place game here at Pinkall Field in this 2025 2-1A state championship softball tournament, where one of these teams will be crowned the third place winner between the number 3 seeded Blue Stem Lions taking on Dexter Cedarvale Spartans in this third place matchup. Both of these teams played earlier today, some tough matchups. We've seen it all day long, along with yesterday. None of these games have been easy to win. Today's held true to that theme. Inman taking on Blue Stem in game 1, went 10 innings, and it took extra innings for the Teutons of Inman to finally come away victorious 2-1 in that game. And that's how Blue Stem finds theirself in this game. The game we just wrapped up, Dexter Cedarvale taking on Oskaloosa. Another low-scoring affair where Oskaloosa was able to come away with a 1-0 win. And so you've got your number 1 seeded Cedarvale Spartans taking on the 3 seeded Lions in this third place game. And just like that, we are ready to roll here at Pinkall Field. We had the pregame introductions by Tyler Dorman on the PA here, all for the tournament for this Pinkall Field action. Went through starting lineups. We'll go through them as well. The home team for today's contest will be the Dexter Cedarvale Spartans. At bat, the visiting team, the Blue Stem Lions, led by head coach Ashton Jurging, leading things off. Number 18, catching today, Lily Huseman, finds herself looking at a 1-1 count. Zoe Davidson, who's had an impressive tournament in the circle for the Spartans, gets a chopper to short, handled by Webb, throw over not in time, and a lead-off single. A little trouble from Gracie Webb handling that, and Huseman able to find herself down to first base safely for a lead-off single to start this ball game off. So with that leadoff single from Huseman, Evan Neal, the left fielder, wearing number 6, will come to the plate for the Lions. Top of the first. If you're just joining us, I'm Cody Eastis with Eastis Media, bringing you all 8 games of this championship broadcast. Appreciate you tuning in, streaming live on YouTube all day yesterday and today as well. So hop over, watch some softball. Whether you've got a cheering, rooting interest in either one of these teams, it's some great softball that we've seen over the last 2 days, and expect 2 more great games here as the third place game going on now, and the championship game a little bit later this afternoon will take place here at Pinkall Field, where a 2025 state champion will be crowned. 2-1 count. Pitch misses up high. Count goes 3-1. Neal takes that pitch inside for strike 2. Count goes full. Rounding out the rest of the defense on the infield. Starting lineups brought to you by Compass Irrigator Repair. Appreciate all of our sponsors that have helped with today's and yesterday's broadcast, and one of those being Compass Irrigator Repair. Maddie Lampson behind home plate catching today for the Spartans. At first, Kylie Hedgecock. Down at second base, Isley Boatman. At shortstop, Gracie Webb. Kylie Bragg at third base, and in the outfield, Bailey Hedgecock. In left field, Edie Boatman in center, and Jessen Vogel in right field. And very quickly, the Lions find themselves with runners on first and second, no outs after Evan Neal able to draw the walk. Will bring Pilar Cox to the plate. We'll see a lot of her in the circle during this game. She's had a great tournament through 2 games for this Blue Stem Lions team. Got a chance here to create some offense of her own. Tries to slap hit that one down the left field side. It goes foul, out of play. Pilar Cox batting in the 3-hole position. Batting fourth for the Lions, number 12, Jewel Carlton. Number 9, Danny Orpin, playing right field. And number 22, Samaya Worrell at third base. Followed by number 15, first baseman Lola Guy. Number 1, Eliana Pearson at shortstop. Designated player today for the Lions, Reagan Harold. And second baseman, rounding out that lineup, number 11, Samantha Wynn. Once again, thank you to Compass Irrigator Repair, one of our great sponsors for this broadcast. The 0-1 count swung on for strike 2. So if you're tuning in watching this broadcast and you can't figure out how to tell your grandparents how to turn it on, just copy, paste, send them the link. That's the easiest way. There may be multiple live broadcasts showing, but it is the one titled Third Place Game on YouTube. That's the one you want to be tuned in here for the remainder of this championship broadcast. And Pilar goes down on strikes for the first strikeout of the day for Zoe Davidson. 1 out here in the top of the first, and that will bring Jewel Carlton, center fielder, to the plate. Opening pitch misses high. I mean, one of the tough things that has to get talked about in the format of these state tournaments is the bounce back that these teams have to recover from after playing a game earlier today and losing in that game. And any loss at this point in the season could just be crushing to these teams. And so a tough job for Coach KB Chris and Coach Ashton Jurging to get their team mentally reset, especially, you know, the Spartans of Dexter Cedar Vale just finishing up the game before us in a tough 1-0 loss against Oskaloosa. Then they've got to turn right back around, and not much time, only about 20 minutes given between games for these teams to bounce back and realize that you've still got an opportunity to bring home a third-place finish at the state tournament. A 2-1 count here for Carleton takes that inside for 3-1. A tough thing to ask these young kids to do, to settle in, regroup, and bring your A game for a third-place game. But I expect that's what we'll see here today. 3-1 pitch, swung on, hard hit ball into right center field. It's going to get down. 1 run, and Huseman going to come around and score. 2 runs will come around and score. An RBI triple as Jewel Carleton slides into third base, safely driving in 2 to kick this ball game off. What a shot from Carleton. Cleared the bases and landed on third herself. And without looking through the books, I think that may be the first triple we've seen in this 2025 tournament, and it comes in the first inning here of the third-place game. So early on, Lions on top 2-0 from the triple off the bat of Jewel Carleton. And still only 1 out here as Danny Orpin comes to the plate. Inside pitch taken for ball 2. Orpin gonna make Davidson throw to her. The 2-0 count. Swings on that one, pop fly. Tracking back is Boatman from second. Can't handle it. A run will come home and score. Tough play for Boatman out at second base, as she never really got set up underneath it. Tracked it back the whole way rather than getting back, setting up, and then looking for it. And it cost the Spartans another run. 3-0 your score early on. 1 out here in the top of the first. Now an infield visit from the infield of this Spartan defense. We talked about the difficulty in having to regroup and regather, and none more so than on the shoulders of Zoe Davidson. This isn't like a lot of times when you see, if you look on the other side of things in a baseball tournament, where you're not going to have the same pitcher on the mound in back-to-back games. In the softball format, 90% of the time, you're going to see that same pitcher out there throwing every day. And so a big ask at this level to ask a pitcher like Zoe Davidson, coming off of a tough loss, to regroup for game 2. The ball hit back to her, gets away from the glove of Hedgecock at first, and the Lions continue to pile on here, lead at 4-0 now, and that's going to draw a visit to the circle from head coach Katie Chris. We saw the infield gather together. The pitch just before that, it was a player-only meeting. This time, Coach Chris coming out, wanting to have a talk with his players. So after the hit from Orpin, the fielding error allowed Carleton to come home and score.
Now batting number 15, Lola Guy.
And that'll bring Lola Guy to the plate. Inside pitch, catches her. I believe, yes, they're going to say that hit Lola Guy, so she'll head down to first base.
Now batting number 1, Eliana Pearson.
And then we'll bring up Eliana Pearson after the hit by pitch. One out here in the top of the first, and already Blue Stem Lions on top 4-0 and show no signs of slowing down here. That ball fouled off. Oh, 0-1 count, swung on. Davidson ahead in the count, 0-2. 0-2 pitch on the way. Check swing, did she go? Yes. First strikeout, second strikeout of the day for Zoe Davidson. Picks up the second out of the inning.
Now batting number 4, Reagan Harold.
And that will bring up the designated player, number 4, Reagan Harold, to the plate. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. 4-0 your score early on. Harold sends that one into the net. Foul ball, strike one. The 0-1 pitch. Now Worrell down there at second base. Thought about heading to third. Throw down from Lamson, center back to second. Count 1-1. As Harold steps back in. 1-1 pitch, swung on, fouled out of play for strike 2. The 1-2 pitch from Davidson goes down on strikes, picks up her third strikeout to get the Spartans out of it. But the Lions out quick offensively, and they score 4. They'll lead it 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the first here on Eastus Media. Welcome back as we enter the bottom of the first inning here at Pinkall Field in this third place matchup between Leon Bluestem and the Cedar Vale Spartans. And early on in the top half of this inning, the Lions of Bluestem able to put 4 runs on the board, as it just didn't look like this Spartan team has quite settled back down from that tough 1-0 loss in the previous game against Oskaloosa. And now they find themselves down the biggest margin that we've seen this tournament, a 4-run margin. We haven't seen any of the contests in this tournament with more than a 2-run separation at any point. And so a tall task for this Spartan team. And when you've got to do it against a pitcher like Pilar Cox, who's got a 4-run cushion now after one game, it's going to take quite the effort from this Spartan team. Leading things off, Gracie Webb, the shortstop, looking at a 1-1 count. But there's a reason this Spartan team came into this tournament the #1 seed overall. So 4 runs, I would not put it past them and sign off on them at all at this point. From what I've seen from this Spartan team throughout this tournament in these 2 games, plenty capable of getting themselves back in this game, as Webb's looking at a 2-1 count. Steps back in. The 2-1 pitch, fouled back. We mentioned Pilar Cox has been in the circle for every inning pitched for this Blueston team. Behind the plate, Lily Huseman. At first base, Lola Guy. Down at second, Samantha Wynn. And Ileana Pearson at shortstop. Samaya Worrell's had a great tournament at third base for this Lions team. And out in left field, Evan Neal, Jewel Carlton in center, and Danny Orpin in right field, rounding out the defense of this Lions team. 3-2 count for Webb at the plate. Three-two pitch on the way, turns on that one, pops it up. Pearson coming over from short, has trouble tracking it down, and similar to what we saw in the last inning from Boatman at second base, the same fate befalls Pearson, and the hustle from Gracie Webb lands her at second base.
Now batting number 2, Edie Boatman.
And that will bring Edie Boatman to the plate for the Spartans. See if she can take advantage of a leadoff runner down at second base for this Spartan offense. Trying to bunt her around, back into the net, foul ball. A lot of communication between Edie Boatman and her head coach, KB Chris, down at third base after trying to lay down that bunt on the opening pitch. Trying to do it again. Worrell right there to pick it up after one bounce, and I've never seen a third baseman get there as quickly as Samaya Worrell does. Just mentioned about the great tournament that we've seen her have, and she has no fear down there at third base to come in. She could nearly shake the hands of the batter as close as she gets when she sees a bunt squared. The bunt did push over Webb to third base, cost the Spartans an out in doing so, and that'll bring Zoe Davidson to the plate. Pitch in the turf, gets behind Huseman, but Webb will stay put at third base. Pitch low in the turf. Ball one. A 1-0 count here on Davidson. Looked like she wanted to swing away on that one. Pulls it back, takes strike one. And the 1-1 pitch misses high and outside. Now a throw down to third. Back in time gets Webb. Two and one, the count. Chop that one back at the home plate for a foul ball. Count will fill up at 2-2. Davidson fighting off that close pitch. Big 2-2 pitch here from Cox. Outside corner, just missed. Tough take from Davidson. Somehow she managed to let that go by on a 2-strike count, and it fills up at 3-2. Big 3-2 pitch here from Pilar Cox. Hard hit ball up the middle from Davidson, gets down, and one run will come in and score. The RBI single from Zoe Davidson brings home Gracie Webb from third base. And just like that, after the Lions able to put 4 runs up in the top half, the Spartans turn right back around and answer it with 1 run of their own. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Coming to the plate, left fielder number 22, Bailey Hedgecock, to try to keep this 1-out rally going. Takes first pitch high and away for ball 1. Davidson stays put down at first base. 1-0 count. Turns on that one right into the glove of the shallow Worrell. Going to take the throw to first. Out at 1. Davidson advances to second base. And another nice play at third base for Samaya Worrell.
Now batting number 26, Kendall Graham.
Coming to the plate with 2 outs now, Kendall Graham. Runner down at second base. Heading to third, she'll have to go back. Down in the count, 0-1 is Graham. Another pitch high and outside. Test and Huseman behind the plate. Is Davidson down at second base. Getting a big lead after that pitch is thrown. Hasn't committed to going to third yet. Count 1-1. Another high pitch outside. Davidson continues to dance between second and third. Two-one pitch on the way. Chopper to short. Pearson takes it. Throw to first. Lola Guy with the catch and the third out of the inning. The Spartans able to close the gap a little bit, score 1, make it a 4-1 game as we head to the top of the second. We'll be back with more championship softball here from Pinkall Field. Welcome back, top of the second inning here at Pinkall Field in this third place game. And the Lions already back to the top of their lineup after that strong start in the top of the first. Lily Huseman to lead things off again here in the second inning. Started this ball game off with a base hit. She'll be trying to do the same here against Zoe Davidson. Right back up the middle. She follows it up with her second hit of the ball game. Jumping on that first pitch is Huseman. Sends one right back up the middle, and once again the Lions with a lead-off batter on first base. That will bring Evan Neal, the left fielder, to the plate. The Lions in familiar territory, trying to bunt Huseman over to second. Fouled back for strike 1. Pitch misses high for ball 1. Swung on for strike 2. Neal just missing that one. Behind in the count now 1-2. Top of the second inning. Lions on top 4-1. Leadoff runner in Huseman reached first base by way of single. That ball fouled down the right field line, out of play. And if you're watching on the live stream, You can see the sunny blue skies, a little bit of, I wouldn't even call it wind here today, more of just a slight breeze, about 6 miles an hour coming out of the south now it looks like, but blue skies, 77 degrees, and a beautiful day here for championship softball at the beautiful Green Sports Complex. Can't say enough about the city of Pratt, Justin Crouch, and all of those that have made this complex as hospitable as possible to all these towns and fans coming to the town of Pratt. We hope you enjoyed your stay. That ball hit over the head of Hedgecock at first base. And a single by Neal will advance the runners. Not necessarily hit on the sweet spot, but enough to move the runners around and find an empty spot in shallow right field. And once again, the Lions look to strike early on here in the top half of the second. Runners on first and second, no outs, and Pilar Cox coming to the plate. Opening pitch, trying to slap that one down to move the runners around. Fouls it back for strike one. Runners at first and second base. Neal down at first, Huseman at second. Trying to tack more runs onto this 4-1 lead. The 0-1 pitch. Again, the slap attempt by Cox. And another foul ball for strike two. Finds herself down in the count, 0-2. Oh-2 pitch on the way from Davidson. Turned on a hard hit ball right to Webb at short. Trying to double up. Neal at first base, and she does. What a play from Gracie Webb. Took a look at second, realized that Huseman was already back to the bag, and then turned, looked at first, saw that Neal was too far off, made a great throw over, and got her in time. And just like that, 2 outs now here in the top of the second. One runner remains down at second base as Jewel Carlton comes to the plate. Oh, 1 count to Carlton. That pitch misses high from Davidson to even it up at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, high and outside for ball 2. Tried the outside, got it. Davidson working her way back in the count. Count 2-2. Two-two pitch on the way, swung on. Carlton fights it off. A 4-1 ball game here in the top of the second inning in this third place matchup between the Blue Stem Lions. Came into this tournament as the number 3 seed, taking on the number 1 seeded Dexter Cedar Vale Spartans, who just came off a very tough loss in the semifinal game to the Oskaloosa Bears. 1-0 that final score, then have to bounce right back around and play in this ball game. Blue Stem, a tough loss as well, 2-1 in 10 innings to Inman to start the day, but they had a little bit more time to recover, regroup than this Cedar Vale team. Right now, they look a little bit more like the fresher team. They've got runners on first and second, 2 outs after that walk drawn by Carlton. That'll bring right fielder Danny Orpin to the plate with 2 outs. Swung on that first pitch for strike 1. The 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball to Bragg at third. Will take it, step on her bag for the 3rd out of the inning, and the Spartans get out of it. Lions don't score any, but they still lead it 4-1 as we head to the bottom of the 2nd here from Pinkall Field. Welcome back, bottom of the 2nd inning here on Eastus Media. 3rd place ball game between the Leon Bluestem Lions and the Dexter Cedar Vale Spartans. Lions lead it 4-1. And coming to the plate to lead things off in the bottom half of this 2nd, Maddie Lampson behind the plate for the Spartans on the defensive side of things, trying to get this bottom half of the 2nd inning going. They trail by 3, swinging on that 2nd pitch, evens the count up at 1-1. Pilar Cox continuing to have a great day in the circle for this Lions team. She's had a great tournament and a great season to this point. 1-1 pitch, hit to 2nd, Wynn fields it, now has trouble, and a chance at first, and Lampson able to run it out, gets there safely. What looked like was going to be a routine play to Samantha Wynn turns into a base hit and puts the leadoff person on first base. 3rd baseman number 5, Kylie Bragg, will come to the plate now.
Now batting number 5, Kylie Bragg.
See if the Spartans continue to chip away at this 4-1 lead that the Lions currently have. Squaring to show bunt. Worrell walking her way in down that 3rd base line. You can see how shallow she comes. Just not afraid at all. 1-0 count. Swinging on that one now. Pops it up. Coming in from first. Guy takes the fly ball for the 1st out of the inning. 1 out down here in the bottom of the 2nd after the pop-up from Kylie Bragg will bring Jessen Vogel to the plate.
Jessen Vogel.
Spartans trying to put something together to take advantage of that leadoff runner reaching first base safely. And Pilar Cox opens up the at-bat with a first pitch strike. The 0-1 pitch, outside corner, got it for strike 2. The 0-2 high fastball, got her swinging. Wynn going to her left, makes a nice play at first for the 2nd out of the inning. Lampson able to move down to 2nd, but it cost the Spartans an out. Wynn having to go quite a bit to her left to make that play. A nice play to pick up the second out here as Isley Boatman comes to the plate. Runner down at second base now in Maddie Lampson. Tried to slap that one. Whirl right there to make the play. Throw down to first, and a quick 3 outs for this Lions defense. We head to the top of the third. 4-1 your score. Lions on top here on Eastus Media. Welcome back, top of the third inning here at Pinkall Field. I'm Cody Eastus on the call for you all tournament long here with Eastus Media. We've got ourselves a 4-1 ball game. The Lions of Blue Stem on top after a big opening inning, and it's Samaya Worrell, who's had a great tournament defensively, stepping to the plate now to lead things off for the Lions. Swings on that one. Foul out of play for strike two. Took the first pitch for a called strike. Now finds herself down 0-2 in the count to Davidson. The 0-2 pitch, grounder to Boatman at second. No trouble there for the first out of the inning. After that ground out from Worrell, it'll bring first baseman Lola Guy to the plate. One out here in the top of the third. Pitch in there for a called first strike. Once again, Zoe Davidson working ahead in the count. Starting off in a bat with a first pitch strike. The 0-1 pitch fought off inside, foul. Now Lola Guy behind in the count, 0-2. Davidson right where she wants to be, ahead in the count, 0-2. Trying to work her way through this part of the lineup. The 0-2 pitch, off speed. 3 quick pitches from Davidson, and Guy goes down on a called third strike. Two outs now here in the top of the third.
Now batting number 1, Eliana Pearson.
Where Blue Stem leads this ball game 4-1. And stepping up to the plate, shortstop for the Lions, Eliana Pearson. Struck out her last time at the plate in the first inning. Trying to do something here with 2 outs in the top of the third. That pitch in there. Once again, Davidson ahead in the count, 0-2. Pearson having to protect now on an 0-2 count. Davidson wasting one there in the turf. Count 1-2. And that pitch swung on. Count 2-2. Two outs here, top of the third inning. Lions lead at 4-1. Now Davidson falling behind in the count. 3-2 fills it up. Picked up 2 quick outs after getting whirled to ground out to second base, and then the strikeout on Lola Guy. Now finds herself with a full count. Got her swinging for the third out of the inning, and the Spartans get out of it. They go 1-2-3, and we'll head to the bottom of the third when we come back here on Eastus Media. Welcome back. Spartans at the top of their lineup here in the bottom half of the third inning as shortstop Gracie Webb comes to the plate. Spartans trail at 4-1. Pops that one up. Cox calling everybody off. She'll take it herself for the first out of the inning. That will bring center fielder Edie Boatman to the plate for the Spartans with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. A ball game in which the Lions were able to come out on fire in that first inning, score 4 quick runs. The Spartans able to answer back with 1 in the bottom half of the first. That's how we find ourselves at a 4-1 score. We've seen all tournament long how hard runs are to come by from either team. Spartans trying to get back in this ball game, trailing by 3. And a hard hit ball going to get out of the infield. Boatman will reach first base. And that's how you start it. You got to start it with base runners, and the Spartans doing that here. Boatman finds herself down at first, and that'll bring Zoe Davidson to the plate for the Spartans with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Davidson stepping in. See how Coach Katie Chris elects to play this with a runner down at first base. First pitch misses outside for ball 1 from Cox. Boatman stays put down at first, not going anywhere. The 1-0 pitch, that one in there for strike 1. The 1-1 count, tried low and away, just misses for ball 2. 2-1 pitch, hard hit ball to short. Double play opportunity for Pearson. Gets the out, and they're going to say safe at second base. The bobble did not come on the transfer. So Boatman will be safe at second, and Davidson safe at first. What looked like a hard hit shot to Pearson was going to result in a double play opportunity, not able to turn it into an out at all. Now, once again, we've seen this a lot this tournament, which I like. All three field umpires going to get together, have a conversation, make sure that one of them didn't see something that the other didn't before they make an official call. The most important thing is getting the call right, and that's what they're having a conversation about now. Right now, we've got runners on first and second base for the Spartans, and the conversation being had is probably whether or not the ball came out on the transfer, and they're going to rule safe, so the call will stand. Runners at first and second base for the Spartans, and that'll bring Bailey Hedgecock to the plate. One out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Now batting number 22, Bailey Hedgecock.
So a great opportunity for this Spartan offense coming into this inning, trailing 4-1. Now the tying run in Hedgecock at the plate. Down at second is Boatman. The 0-1 count to Hedgecock. Swung on, hard hit ball into center field. Carlton shifting to her left, underneath it. Now the tag coming. The throw to third. Tag safe at third base is Boatman. Hesitated a bit on that tag up and then finally committed to going and able to get under the tag. A nice throw coming in from Jewel Carlton out in center field, and a tag put down by World, just not in time. And both runners advance on the flyout from Hedgecock. Runners at second and third as Graham comes to the plate. And if she could find a way to drive one or possibly both of these in, the throw down to third, close. Huseman behind the plate, a great throw. And Boatman really having to be on her toes. Dives back head first in time. The 1-0 pitch. Just misses. Ball two. Two-0 pitch on the way from Cox. High and outside. Count goes 3-0. A likely take situation for Kendall Graham. Big 3-0 pitch coming from Cox. Right down the middle for strike one. Still down at third base, Boatman. Looking for a chance to come home. 3-1 pitch right back to the glove of Cox, and they get out of the inning. A quick catch and drop back down in the circle for Pilar Cox. No damage done. The Lions still lead at 4-1 as we head to the top of the fourth when we come back. Welcome back. Top of the fourth inning here at Pinkall Field as Reagan Harold steps in to lead it off for the Lions. They lead it 4-1, able to hold off the Spartans in that last inning. They had runners in scoring position, and then the Lions able to get out of it. Zoe Davidson still in the circle here for the Spartans as Regan Harold looking at a 1-1 count. That pitch low and away. Count 2-1. Two-one pitch, chopper to second base. Boatman coming over, makes the play, makes the throw for the first out of the inning. One quick out for that Spartan defense.
Now bat number 18, Lily Huseman.
And the Lions now get back to the top of their lineup as Lily Huseman comes to the plate and has had a great day at the plate. 2 for 2 in this ball game. She's really sparked this offense. Sends one down the left field line. It'll go foul for strike one. Both innings in the first and the second. Huseman coming through with hits. Eventually came around and scored in that first inning. And the 0-1 pitch right off the end of the bat, back to Davidson. She'll field it, throw over to first, and another quick out for this Spartan defense. 2 quick outs from the infield outs. Make it 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Coming to the plate, Evan Neal. Spartans trying to go 1-2-3 through this part of the lineup. Chance to get their bats back out. Outside pitch misses for ball one. The 1-0 pitch, tried the off speed on the outside, just misses for ball two. And after that opening inning, Zoe Davidson really has settled down after that 4-run inning from the Lions. Now coming back, misses on that pitch, behind in the count 3-0. .30 pitch in there for a called first strike. .31 pitch in the turf, and Neal able to draw the 2-out walk here in the top of the fourth inning. Puts a runner down at first base as Pilar Cox comes to the plate.
Now batting number 34, Pilar Cox.
Cox stepping in, trying to see if she can start a 2-out rally of sorts for this Lions offense. They lead at 4-1 currently. But they would take all the runs they can get against this number 1 overall seeded Dexter Cedarvale Spartan team. The 0-1 pitch tipped back into the glove of Lamson for strike two. Still down at first base, Evan Neal, after drawing that 2-out walk, stays put down at first. The 0-2 pitch, a chopper back to Davidson in the circle, steps, throws, and another quick infield out for this Spartan defense. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. Spartans trail at 4-1 as they have a chance to get their bats back out here at Pinkall Field. Well, welcome back to Pinkall Field here on Eastus Media for our 2025 coverage of the 1A State Championship Softball Tournament. Held at the beautiful Green Sports Complex here in Pratt, Kansas. I'm Cody Eastus and have been on the call with you for all 8 games. 7 to this point. This is our 7th. One more coming after this, the championship game. I might not know who you are, but if you've been listening to all these games, you probably feel like I'm an old friend by now. This has been a long 2 days, and if you've tuned in for all 7 games, boy, we can't say thank you enough. A 4-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 4th, and a shot into center field. Has a chance to get down. Carlton can't get there in time, and a leadoff single by Maddie Lampson. See if that can spark some life into the offense of this Spartan team. A runner down at first base.
Now up to the bat, number 5, Kylie Bragg.
That will bring Kylie Bragg, the third baseman, to the plate. See if she can take advantage of that opening single by Maddie Lampson. Want to know the count? Pitch, hard hit ball, has a chance to get over the glove of Pearson. It does. Trying to get to second in time. A great throw and a heads-up play from Carlton in center. Gets the force out at second base. Just like that, after it looked like it was going to be back-to-back base hits for the Spartans. A hustle play in the outfield, gets the force out, and lead runner in Lampson out at second base. So Lampson and Bragg essentially trade places, and that will bring Jessen Vogel to the plate. Now with 1 out, hits the ball over the glove of Cox behind second base. Pearson, a great play, but can't finish it. Another bobble, and safe at second is Bragg. So the Spartans' opportunity continues to improve here with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Runners on first and second base as Isley Boatman steps to the plate. Squares to bunt, lays down a nice bunt down the first baseline. Warman will let it go foul. Excuse me, Worrell. And it still continues to amaze me how quickly she gets to bunts from that third base position. You can see it on the stream, how shallow she comes in once she sees somebody squaring to bunt, and has continued to make great plays all day when that scenario has come up. We've got a pinch runner coming in for Vogel at third base, as Coach Chris will come in and sort that out. Martins, I believe, down at first. Coming in to run. Try to get a definitive number on that.
11 for 1.
11 for 1. So the pinch runner will come in for Vogel as number 11, Reagan Every, will come in as the courtesy runner. Still at the plate, Isley Boatman. Trying to square it, bunt again, pulls that one back. Runners will advance on the pass ball, no tip. Count goes to 1-1. Both runners advancing one base. Now in scoring position, have you got Bragg down at third base and Every at second base. The off-speed pitch misses for ball 2. Count goes 2-1. One out here in the bottom of the 4th. Once again, Pilar Cox missing low and away. Count 3-1 in favor of Boatman at the plate. Big 3-1 pitch here on the way. Outside for ball 4, and Pilar Cox walks the bases loaded as Isley Boatman finds herself down at first base after a patient at bat, and the Spartans back to the top of their lineup in Gracie Webb with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, bases loaded. Webb going to go have a conversation with Coach Chris. Big moment here in this ball game. The Lions currently sitting on a 4-1 lead. But the Spartans looking to strike here. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, bases loaded, and their leadoff batter in Gracie Webb coming to the plate. High fastball misses for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Cox in the turf. Good job by Huseman to keep that in front of her, knowing that a pass ball could result in a run. Count 2-0, and now another water break coming in for Pilar Cox. Both batter and pitcher getting to have a conversation with their coaches. Be Gracie Webb walking down to third base, talking with head coach KB Chris. As Pilar Cox getting a hydration break. We mentioned it yesterday. We saw this as well. Wonder if she's battling some type of illness, maybe. As they've been making sure throughout this tournament to keep her well hydrated throughout these ball games. If that's the case, it just makes it that much more impressive. Her performance. Everybody back set. 2-0 will be the count when Webb steps back into the box here. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Spartans trying to tie this ball game up. The tying run is Isley Boatman down at first base. And the 2-0 pitch high for ball 3. A big pitch coming for Pilar Cox. .30 pitch on the way. Inside misses, ball 4, and Pilar Cox walks in a run that makes it a 4-2 ball game. Bases will remain loaded. Everybody advances. Webb heads down to first base. And coming to the plate will be center fielder Edie Boatman. That pitch high and away again. Huseman having to go up and grab it. And Pilar Cox asking for a different ball. As many foul balls as we've seen today, it's only reasonable to think that some of those may be scuffed up at this point, at this stage in the tournament. The 1-0 count. Misses low, ball 2. And suddenly Pilar Cox struggling to find the strike zone. She's been so consistent all tournament long. Now looking at a 2-0 count after a 4-pitch walk to Gracie Webb. That pitch high, tried the off-speed pitch. Throw back down to third, tag not in time. Every able to get back safely. Spartans trying to get back into this ball game. They trail by 2. The 2-1 pitch in there for a called strike. Count evens up at 2-2. Spartans have scored 1. Cox walked a run in with the bases loaded, and the Spartans still with a bases loaded opportunity here. 1 out, bottom of the 4th. It's Boatman at the plate. Off-speed pitch, Pilar Cox, big pitch, gets her swinging for the second out of the inning. That'll bring the 3-hole hitter, Zoe Davidson, and if you're the pitcher for the Spartans, as Davidson is, you could not ask for a better opportunity to create some run support of your own, coming to the plate with bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th. Turns on that first pitch, off speed. Too early, strike 1. Count 0-1. Cox in the turf. Another job, good job by Lily Huseman behind home plate. Keep that ball in front of her. Count evens up at 1-1. Every remains down at third base. And the 1-1 pitch. Turns on, shortstop. Gonna take care of that one. Pearson has trouble with it. 1 run comes home. 2 runs come home. And now a tie ball game as the throw gets by Whirl at third base. And just like that, the Spartans have taken a 5-4 lead. And Davidson lands herself at third base after the bases clearing triple. And just like that, we've got ourselves a completely different ball game as the Spartans have jumped on top 5-4, putting up a 4-run inning of their own, and it's not over yet. Coming to the plate, Bailey Hedgecock, a chance to drive in Davidson from third. What a shot by Zoe Davidson to land at third base, and then the throwing error over to third allowed 1 additional run to come home. We said it. You need some run support. If you're the pitcher, create it on your own. Pop fly into left field. Evan Neal coming in to the turf to make the third out of the inning. But this game has changed. The Spartans now lead at 5-4 as we head to the top of the 5th here on Eastus Media. Welcome back. Top of the 5th inning we head, and this game has changed. It was all Blue Stem early on as they jumped out 4-1 to lead this ball game, and then a Spartan team that looked like maybe they still hadn't quite recovered from that semifinal loss to Oskaloosa finally came alive here in the bottom of the 4th. They lead at 5-4 as a substitution change being relayed up here to the booth. So no change on the defensive side. We saw the shift on the base path where Every came in to run for Vogel. And now I assume they're putting Vogel back out in right field in place of Every. At the plate to start things off for the Lions will be Jewel Carlton, center fielder, number 12. And a hard hit ball into center field. A diving catch. Did she hang on to it? She did. What a play in center field by Edie Boatman for the first out of the 5th. And now the question is she okay coming down on that wrist like she did? Whole team coming out to check on her. And you can see her holding that arm. What a play maybe the play of the tournament, but she appears to be hurt. We'll take a break while they tend to her. When we come back, we'll have more championship softball here on Eastus Media. Welcome back. Top of the fifth inning. All clear out in center field for Edie Boatman. Good sign she never had to leave the field or come out of the ballgame after making what could be the play of this tournament on a line drive hit from Carlton. Boatman laying out across her body and making one heck of a diving play. Came up a little injured. Had to take some time to check on her. Looked like a play that could have caused an injury, but still out there in the field. All good signs, as you'd never like to see anybody get injured at this point in the season, any point in the season. As we came back there, a base hit from Danny Orpin. She finds herself down at first base with one out here in the top of the fifth, and that'll bring third baseman Samaya Worrell to the plate. Oh, 1 count after Davidson got that first pitch in for a strike. Missed high and outside for ball one. A 1-1 count, swung on for strike two. Spartans sitting on a 5-4 lead after trailing this ball game 4-0 to start it off. Ball into right field. Vogel going back, makes the catch. No one able to tag on that. Orpin stays put at first base for the second out of the inning. Now she does take the tag, comes in on the throw. Glance down after it looked like she was staying put on first. And there she is on second base.
Now batting number 15, Lola Guy.
That will bring Lola Guy to the plate. 2 outs here in the top of the fifth inning. A chopper back to Davidson, goes up and gets it, settles, throws to first. 3 outs, and the Spartans will be back in the bottom of the fifth to try to add on to this 1-run lead. 5-4 as we head to the bottom of the fifth when we come back. Welcome back. Bottom of the sixth inning here at Pinkall Field in this third place ball game of the 2025 2-1A State Championship Softball Tournament. 5-4 your score after the Spartans able to take the lead after the bottom of the fourth when they put up 4 runs in that inning, trailed at 4-1, and now find themselves on top by a score of 5-4 as number 26, Kendall Graham, comes to the plate. Hard hit ball, gets over the head of Pearson, and a leadoff single for Graham. Well, you can't hit a ball much harder than that. A line drive shot from Kendall Graham to start this inning off. And it's really starting to feel like those semifinal blues have shaken off of this Spartan team as they lead at 5-4. And that will bring Maddie Lampson to the plate. Runner on first, no outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Again, Coach Chris going to come out, have a conversation with the home plate umpire. Going to send a courtesy runner in. A pinch runner in. Looked like number 8 coming in. Be Ashton Pulliam. So 8 for 26 will come in. That will be Pulliam down at first base now, replacing Kendall Graham after that leadoff line drive shot. And coming to the plate, Maddie Lampson. Gotten on both plate appearances today. Spartan's going to try to add to this 1-run lead. A swinging strike one on the off-speed pitch. Count 0-1. Inside, just misses, ball 1. Count evens up at 1-1 apiece. Cox coming home square into show bunt, gets by the glove of Huseman, and Pulliam going to take second base. No need for the bunt now to move her over. And Pulliam coming off the bag. And a lot of confusion here. Pulliam now out at second base, never tagged, the ball never made its way down there.
I think she came off the base while the pitcher was in.
And so the explanation may be that she came off the base while Pilar Cox was still in the circle or on the rubber. Either way, it results in an out that went uncontested from anybody from the dugout from Cedar Vale. So the base is clear. 1 out now here in the bottom of the 5th inning. As Maddie Lampson looking at a 2-2 count. The 2-2 pitch swung on, chopper down the third base line and foul territory. Lampson will make her way back to the batter's box. Still looking at a 2-2 count here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out. Spartans lead it 5-4. Inside pitch. Waited on that one. Count remains 2-2 on Lampson. Inside pitch, got her for a called third strike for the 2nd out of the inning. Pilar Cox continues to have a great day out there in the circle for the Lions.
Now batting number 5, Kylie Bragg.
Now mound visit as Huseman comes out from behind the mound to talk with her pitcher. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, and that'll bring Kylie Bragg to the plate.
Here we go. All right, girls, be ready. Okay, got 2.
And a hard hit ball from Bragg. It'll get down in left field. One hops to Neal and a 2-out single. Now Bragg going to take second on the overthrow with the aggressive base running, and she finds herself down at second base on the hustle play. Good job from Kylie Bragg to pay attention to see where that ball was going, and what looked like was going to be a runner on first base turns into a runner on second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, and Jessen Vogel steps into the batter's box. Opening pitch to Vogel, off-speed pitch, and had her leaning, swinging for strike one. Huseman goes down on it, may have caught a tip of the bat there. And she needs to walk that one off. The pitch was a strike. 0-1 will be the count on Vogel. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Spartans lead it 5-4. As we're all set to resume play, Vogel steps back in. Cox on the rubber in the circle. And a fastball inside misses for ball one. Bragg down at second base. And the 1-1 pitch turned on a chopper to Pearson at short. Handles it well, throw over to first. Guy makes the play, and the Lions get out of it. They still trail by a score of 5-4 as we head to the top of the 6th inning here from Pinkall Field. Two up to lead us off in the top of the 6th inning for the Lions will be number 1 shortstop Eliana Pearson, coming off a nice play in the field to get the Lions out of that last inning. She comes to the plate, and the Lions trail it by a score of 4-5. Boy, early on in this ball game, it started off looking like it was going to be all Lions. They jumped out early, put up 4 runs in the first inning, and have been held scoreless since that first. It wouldn't be until the 4th inning that the Spartans would answer back with 4 runs of their own. Add that to one of their runs in the first, and a 5-4 lead is where we sit. Both teams fighting for a chance to be named the 3rd place winner of this 2025 2-1A state championship game here in Pratt, Kansas. Had a substitution there. Didn't catch the name.
26 back for 8.
So 26 back for 8. So probably no change in the field as Graham re-enters. And she was the designated hitter. First pitch, ball 1 to Pearson. And that shot going to get down in right field unless a great play's made by Vogel, and it is. Jessen Vogel and this Spartan outfield continue to shine. What looked like was going to be a leadoff base hit from Pearson turns into another highlight play to be added to the reel for this outfield of this Spartan defense. A 1 out now here in the top half of the 6th inning. As Reagan Harold will come to the plate. Swung on 4, strike 1. And that pitch in there for strike 2. Davidson continuing to look good in the circle for the Spartans. Really has had to work through a lot this game. Started off with an inning that gave up 4 runs to this Lions offense. And then able to regather, regroup herself, rely on some run support from her offense. 3 of those runs created by herself on a triple that cleared the bases. And now right back in this ballgame. The 0-2 pitch, a chopper over the head of Davison, but Webb there to clean it up for the 2nd out of the inning. Nice play from Gracie Webb at shortstop. Continues to have a great tournament. So with 2 outs now in the top half of the 6th inning, the Lions back to the top of their lineup as Lily Huseman comes to the plate.
Now batting number 18, Lily Huseman.
Trying to lay down a bunt, gets it down successfully. Throw to first, way over the head of Hedgecock. And Huseman going to take second base. Still trouble in the outfield. Huseman now rounding second, heads for third, and not even a play at third base. So a 2-out throwing error sends a player down to third base. And that runner in Huseman is the tying run in this ball game. So with Neal coming to the plate for the Lions and Huseman down at third, we'll see what the strategy is for head coach Jurging, knowing that a tying run is only 60 feet away. And the ball gets past the glove of Lamson, coming home to try to tie this up is Huseman. She does! So what went from a 3rd out routine bunt put Huseman down at first base, and then an overthrow on a wild pitch ties this ball game up. Now a meeting at the mound from the infield of this Spartan defense. We've got 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning and a tie ball game. Waiting to come back into the batter's box is Evan Neal. A 1-0 count to Neal. Base path's empty after Huseman able to come home on that passed ball and tie this ball game up with the last couple innings. We've seen a couple lead changes. Neal swings on that pitch for strike 1. Count goes 2-1. Davidson once again trying to get herself out of an inning. The 2-1 pitch. Misses low for ball 3. Three-one pitch high, and a walk from Davidson sends Neal down to first base with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning, and that will bring Pilar Cox, who has a chance now to do what Davidson did back in the 4th inning for her Spartan team, which was to create some run support. Pilar Cox with an opportunity here, 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch swung on back into the net. Foul ball. Count 0-1 on Cox. That ball popped up down the right field side. Hedgecock going to try to make a play on it. Can't get there in time. And the ball falls to the turf. After that foul ball, Cox falls behind 0-2 in the count. Runner back to first base in Neal. Davidson back in the circle. The 0-2 pitch on the ground to second base. Nice play from Boatman for the third out of the inning. Had to really reach for that one, but Isley Boatman making it look routine. But the Lions able to score one and tie this ball game up as we head to the bottom of the sixth. You're listening to Championship Softball from Pinkall Field. Welcome back. Bottom of the sixth inning. The Lions able to tie it up in the top half of that sixth. And we find ourselves, excuse me, a 5-5 ball game here as pinch hitter Sawyer Herod coming in for what would be Isley Boatman. Count 1-0 after taking that first pitch. Swings on that one, evens it up at 1-1. Pilar Cox continuing to have a great day in the circle for this Lion defense. 1-1 count off the turf and into the leg of Herod. So a leadoff hit by pitch puts a runner down at first for the Spartans. A rare error coming from Pilar Cox in the circle for the Lions.
Now batting number 10, Gracie Webb.
Down at first base is Herod, and the Spartans get back to the top of their lineup as Gracie Webb comes to the plate, swinging on that first pitch into center field. Neal coming in, can't get there in time, it'll drop. And just like that, runners on first and second to start this ball game off, start this inning off. The Spartans trying to break this 5-5 tie. Coming to the plate will be Edie Boatman. After that ball able to get down, runners on first and second base in the bottom of the sixth inning. Trying to bunt him around, lays it down. Nice bunt from Boatman. Cox has to come in, overthrow it first. Another run will come home and score. And held at third base will be Webb. But the Spartans take the lead on the throwing error from Cox. A great bunt laid down by Boatman. And the go-ahead run able to come home and score. Runners at first and second base.
Now stepping to the plate, number 4, Zoe
And coming to the plate Zoe Davidson, another opportunity to help herself out and create some run support on the offensive end. Takes first pitch, off speed outside for ball one. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. After the Lions were able to tie it up in the top half, the Spartans come out firing. That pitch in the turf gets away from Huseman. Nobody going to come home and try to make a play on it. Webb staying put down at second base. And the 2-0 pitch. Off speed, turned on, fouled back for strike one. Can the Spartans keep this rally alive? No outs, runners on second and third base. And the 2-1 pitch, off speed inside, called for strike two. Webb down at third base. Didn't take the chance on that pass ball. They sit on a 1-run lead now. And Davidson, a hard hit ball, gets out of the infield. Webb will come home to score. Coming around third is Boatman, 2-run score. And Davidson trapped at second base, back in time safely. Zoe Davidson continues to generate offense for this Spartan team. They lead it 8-5. What a back and forth couple innings we've had. After 2 or 3 innings of no scores after that first, it looked like the Spartans might not have enough gas left in the tank. And then they rally back with 4 runs in the 4th inning and 3 and counting here in the bottom half of the 6th. First pitch outside as Bailey Hedgecock steps to the plate. Davidson down at second base. Still no outs here. And the Spartans have come alive. The 1-0 pitch popped up into the infield. Wynn calling everybody off from second base, and the first out made. That pop up from Hedgecock. Graham will come to the plate. 1 out, Davidson down at second base. Spartans now on top, 8-5. Get this score right on the live stream for you. Just noticing we had that wrong. 8-5 your score. Cedarvale on top. Should be all corrected there. Apologies. And a 1-0 count to Graham. Davidson still down at second base, working with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, trying to take home a 3rd place title at this 2025 state tournament. 1-0 count. High for ball 2. Two-0 pitch on the way. Graham liked that one. Good cut at it. Just a bit too soon. Fouled it down into the turf for strike one. Two-one pitch on the way. Another chopper this time. Going to be a fair ball. Cox comes out of the circle, and coming around from second is Davidson. She'll slide in head first for another run. What a hustle play from Zoe Davidson, coming all the way around from second base, and makes it a 9-5 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 outs, bases cleared after Davidson able to come home, and Maddie Lampson coming to the plate. Inside pitch misses for ball one. The 1-0 pitch, hard hit, ball to Pearson at short. Fields it cleanly, throw over to first, and Lola Guy makes a nice snag for the third out of the inning. But the Spartans, another 4-run inning to match what they put up in the fourth, and now lead it 9-5 as we head to the top of the seventh here on Eastus Media. Welcome back, top of the seventh inning here at Pinkall Field in this third place ball game where the Spartans have just broken wide open and take a 9-5 lead and are 3 outs away from winning this ball game. Leading it off for the Lions in the top half of this inning is center fielder Jewel Carlton. Hard hit ball back to back to the pitcher for the first out of the inning. Now Davidson and her Spartan defense only 2 outs away from being named the third place winner of this 2025 state tournament. A lot can happen in 2 outs though, and somebody to have something to say about that is Danny Orpin as she lines one into left field to try to spark a 1-out rally here in the top of the seventh. Now we'll get a courtesy runner, our pinch runner come in for Orpin down at first base. It'll be Savannah Marvin.
Now batting number 22, Samaya Worrell.
And that will bring Samaya Worrell to the plate for the Lions. 2 outs remaining. 9-5 your score. Spartans on top. Chopper to short. Webb takes it. The underhand to second. Gets the first out. Can't turn 2. But the Spartans 1 out closer as they get that lead runner. Worrell down to first base safely, and Lola Guy will step to the plate with 1 out remaining here at Pinkall Field.
Now batting number 15, Lola Guy.
Opening pitch misses for ball 1. Nine to 5 your score here in the top of the seventh. 2 outs. Swung on and missed for strike 1. Zoe Davidson trying to close it out here for her team. A 1-1 pitch, low in the turf, but chased by Guy for strike 2. Now one pitch away. You can hear the crowd getting on their feet and behind this Spartan defense. The 1-2 pitch. Almost had her chasing. Throw down to second as Worrell now at first base. Takes second. Throw not there in time. Pitch was a ball, so a 2-2 count. Chopped back into the fence. Count will remain 2-2.
Go, Lola. Keep battling. Keep battling.
2-2 pitch on the way from Davidson. Another one fouled back by Guy. She stays alive with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Well, the Lions need a lot of help here, but you got to do it one batter at a time. Right now that falls on the shoulders of Lola Guy. 2-2 pitch. Got her swinging on the off-speed pitch, and it will be the Dexter Cedarvale Spartans who take home a 3rd place title at this 2025 state tournament. What a tournament run for the Lady Spartans and head coach KB Chris. Congratulations to them, as they will be named your 3rd place winner in this 2-1A state softball tournament. Congratulations to Ashton Jurging and her Blue Stem Lions as well. They'll take home a 4th place finish after a hard-fought tournament by both teams. What a 2-day event and amount of softball that we've seen. Some great softball. Every one of these ball games that we've seen and that we've called have been great ball games. And this one, this 3rd place game, did not disappoint. But it is the Dexter Cedarvale Spartans that will take home the 3rd place finish. Congratulations once again to them on a great season. They came into this tournament as the #1 seed overall, finished the season with a 28-2 record, and something always appreciated is the sportsmanship that's seen on the field at these Keisha events. Both teams out there now at center field holding hands, ending with a game-ending prayer, and always a great sign to see. Something that's never lost on myself or fans is the sportsmanship that's shown by so many of these towns in these events and games, that emotions are so high where they have that roller coaster that you ride from the ups and the downs, and to be able to come out of it at the end and still show great sportsmanship, that does not go unnoticed. So thank you to the athletes on this Cedarvale and on this Blue Stem team for allowing me the pleasure to call the finality of their 2025 season. I know it's always tough. I've been through it with our Pratt High Greenback team, and when your season ends, it's always tough. But the Spartans finish it with a win here in the 3rd place game, and the Lions of Blue Stem, what a great season to them as well. I had a pleasure getting to call 2 of their games, and they sure were fun to watch. So congratulations to both teams, as both very deserving of congratulations. That'll do it here for the 3rd place game. If you're sticking around for the stream, we're going to cut this one off, and then we'll start up a new championship stream. So that's the one you want to share. That's the one that you want to pull up on your TV or your phone, however you choose to watch it. And with that, thank you for tuning in to these broadcasts, and thank you to the sponsors. The sponsor for this ball game was Compass Irrigator Repair out of Dexter Cedarvale. So thank you for them for sponsoring this ball game, starting lineups and more, and all of our sponsors throughout this 2-day broadcast that have made this broadcast possible. We appreciate you tuning in to Eastus Media. I've been Cody Eastus on this 3rd place call. We'll be back here in about 20 minutes with championship action here at Pinkall Field. So get yourself a snack. Get down here to Green Sports Complex if you're a local that's tuning in, and a chance to watch some great softball coming up on deck. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. You've been listening to softball here on Eastus Media.